Hello, today's video is the week 24 pregnancy update. The last one I did was 6 weeks ago when I was 18 weeks, and so many things have happened since then. So many things have changed, so I really want to update you about everything. So let's get started. First of all, I cannot believe how quickly the second trimester is passing. I can't believe that just 3 weeks and I'm going to reach third trimester, so we're almost 2/3 of the way done. It's just crazy to me. At the beginning, when I felt so sick, it seemed like I would never feel better. The end of the pregnancy would never come here, and it just seemed like time was basically standing still. While now it's flying by, and I cannot wait to meet our little kitten. So the first thing I'd like to share is that we finally know the gender. At almost 22 weeks, we went for our anatomy scan, and it's a kind of detailed scan where they look at every single organ to make sure that everything is developing how it should. And at that time, you can also find out the gender. And so we did. We honestly went with completely neutral expectations. We basically had zero expectations because we want to have both sooner or later, both girl and a boy. We want to experience both because they're both amazing for different reasons. And it didn't really matter to us which one to start from as long as the baby was healthy. But up to maybe week 17, when I started feeling the first moments, we both felt really strongly that it was a girl. And we had a girl's name picked out. But we didn't have any names for the boys because we just couldn't agree on any of the names. At around week 17, when I started feeling the movements that were so strong and so constant, they just didn't feel like the movements that a girl would make. To me, it totally felt like a future football player or something. So I started feeling that it was a boy. And apparently I was right. When I saw the baby's bum in the screen, I realized it was a boy. I don't know how to describe my feelings. I felt kind of stunned. I mean, there could have been equal chances to have both boy and girl, so I shouldn't have really been surprised. But I was so surprised and happy at the same time because I love little boys. When I was a child or a teenager, I spent all of my time playing with little boys. I don't know, I just feel more comfortable around them. I definitely have more experience dealing with them. So I was so happy to find out that we're going to have one of our own. And boys' clothes are so cute. I can't wait to dress him like a little man. So the anatomy scan itself was so quick. I read online that it can take anywhere from half an hour to even an hour, depending on the baby's position and how much it moves. But in our case, it took literally 10 minutes. It was so quick. At the beginning, the doctor said that she wouldn't tell me anything. She didn't show me the screen. She just did all of the measurements quickly without being distracted by any questions or any talking. And while I didn't see the screen, of course, I was freaking out a little bit because I had no idea if things were okay. But once she finished, she called my husband in and she showed us the gender. She showed us all the little organs, all the little things, and explained that our boy is perfectly healthy, perfectly on track, and is 3 days bigger again. Last time it was 4 days bigger, so they moved my due date. Now they don't move the due date anymore, but basically from the beginning, our boy is around 1 week ahead from where it should be. It was also 507 grams already at 21 week and 6 days. So they said it's going to be a big baby, but that's not a surprise knowing that both my husband and I are really tall. One more seriously funny thing, when we discovered that, we couldn't stop laughing. So when they did the scan, on the scan you could see all the different measurements, like the length of the femur bone, like the circumference of the head, the circumference of the belly, and so on and so forth. And it was funny to see that his head was actually the head of 21 weeks, so 1 week smaller. My husband has a small head, so our boy is going to have my husband's head. And he has a massive nose of 26 weeks, just like me. So he's going to have a small head like my husband and a long nose like his mama, which is so cool, I think. The baby was lying sideways, which is completely normal at 22 weeks. And that explains why I usually feel the kicks either on one side or the other. Although this morning something really interesting happened. I felt the kicks for the first time just above the belly button, which means that maybe the kitten flipped, but then I think it flipped back down again because it kept kicking my bladder and, the really bottom, perhaps the cervix as well. I don't know. It basically just keeps moving around all the time. And in general, just never stops moving. It only stops moving when I go to sleep. Our schedules are completely in sync. When I go to sleep, it stops. As soon as I wake up, it starts again, which is so nice. My husband felt the first movements finally around a week ago, and he was so frustrated for the longest time because for a few weeks he's been trying to feel it. I started feeling the first movements at 17 weeks. Then around 19 weeks, I could feel the movements on the outside by putting my hand on my belly. And then a week later, around week 20, I could also see the movements from the outside, and my husband could as well, but he still couldn't feel it. The thing is that it's really cold in our flat, like really cold, somewhere between 16 and 18 degrees at all times of the day, as you can imagine, and that's Celsius, so it's really, really cold. And every time he comes and put his hand on my belly, his hand is freezing. And the kitten is our baby, that's the nickname that we gave him, he really doesn't like the cold, and so he just stops moving every single time. And so my husband was never able to catch the movements until a week ago, and not surprisingly, the first time he felt the movements was in bed, because in bed is the only time during the whole day when we actually feel properly warm and we have warm hands. So since then he's been feeling the movements every single day, and it's definitely so much easier for him to bond with this baby now and to really understand so much better that, a little mini him is coming soon. And it's really nice for me to watch that relationship building between them as well. It's just such a special moment. Now my bump has finally properly made an appearance around a couple of days ago. I had a bit of a bump, but it was still very, very small, and I definitely didn't feel pregnant with my usual clothes. But in the last couple of days, it really popped out, and now I really look pregnant. In fact, my husband keeps saying that I look so pregnant, regardless of what I'm wearing. So far, I still fit into all of my normal clothes. Everything is just in the belly. I haven't changed anywhere else, really. So I've only bought 2 pairs of jeans so far, one from H&M and one from ASOS, because H&M here is really the only place where you can get maternity clothing locally. It's really difficult to find them. So that's where I got them from. And honestly, they fit like a glove. They're perfectly skinny, just the way I like them. And the kind of jeans I like are the ones over the bump, because I feel like they give a lot of support to my belly and they just feel so much more comfortable. Also warmer when the weather is cold. We're going to visit my family in a couple of days in Lithuania, which is going to be freezing. So I'm sure my belly is going to be really warm with the over-the-bump jeans. I'm still applying oil on my belly, hips, and my chest area every single day, every single morning. And I haven't noticed any kind of stretch marks so far. But then again, I haven't even grown that much either. So we'll see later towards the due date what's going to happen then. But I really enjoy applying the oil, and my belly has never been this soft and so silky in my life, so that's quite nice. And the oil I'm using at the moment is sesame seed oil, but really I just use whatever I have available, whatever is affordable where I live. And sesame seed oil is one of my favorite oils of all times, especially for the winter time, because it's warming. So that's what I use. I've also noticed some growth in my chest area, not so much the actual growth of the cup size, but my chest is expanding in terms of the bones. It's just getting wider. So I had to buy another bra, one size wider, the same cup, but wider, because all the ones I had were really too tight around my chest, and I couldn't stand wearing any underwired bras anymore. I literally just had one wireless bra left that was still comfortable to me. So I bought exactly the same one, but in a wider size. And I'm really happy I have 2 bras, and that will have to be enough until the birth, hopefully, if it doesn't change again. And for bras, I always buy my bras only from Marks and Spencer. It's really the only place that does bras well for my size and for my shape. So I think I'll be loyal forever as long as they make bras. Now, talking about pregnancy symptoms, I haven't really had any major new symptoms. All of them, most of them disappeared already by the last update. I still have the annoying blocked air feeling in my left ear pretty much every single day. It starts in the afternoon around 2 o'clock and lasts all the time, all day long until dinner time or until I go to bed. I researched it and found out what it is. So it's basically a problem with the eustachian tubes. And it's not that they get blocked, they actually stay open when they should be closing instead. And what that means is that it's not that my ear is really blocked, it's not. But the thing is that instead of hearing things from the outside, I hear things from the inside. So I hear my heartbeat, I hear my breathing, I hear all these things that, oh, my voice as well. My voice is like 10 times stronger than it should be. So it feels really really strange to speak. And that's why it's also difficult for me to hear anything happening outside on the left side, because instead of hearing the outside, I hear the inside, and it's pretty challenging, but I read it's quite common in pregnancy and you just really have to wait it out. There's nothing you can do. I also noticed that if I lie down for half an hour or so, it goes away, often goes away for the rest of the day. Sometimes it goes away at least for an hour or two, so I can get a bit of a relief, so that definitely helps. But anything else like popping the ears, blowing the nose, closing the nose and then blowing or anything like that just makes it worse. The only thing that helps is either having my head upside down or lying down horizontally. One more thing I noticed in the last few weeks is that now I have to pee a little bit more often. Still, I don't really get up more than once at night. Sometimes I don't have to get up at all if I don't drink a lot before going to bed. So it's not too bad, but if I'm walking outside and I need to pee, it's definitely uncomfortable. I just feel like there's too much weight in that area, so I need to go and pee. But that's quite normal and to be expected during pregnancy. I started getting occasional tailbone pain in the last week or so. Before it had completely gone away and I was so happy about it. Now I feel it from time to time, definitely not every day, maybe once or twice a week, and I believe it's when the kitten shifts to a certain position and maybe traps some nerve, but then it moves and all of that feeling disappears. So it's really not bad at all. And especially if I do some yoga, some stretches, all of that pain disappears as well. So exercising really keeps me sane and strong. My skin and hair is still doing so well. Still perfectly clear, no breakouts or dry areas at all. My hair is also thickening up now and seems to be falling out less and less. So that's really nice. I'm actually really grateful to my boy for that. I wonder if it was a girl, things would be different in the department, but I guess I won't know until the next time, hopefully, if it's a girl. From time to time, I still have a tiny bit of nausea in the morning when I wake up if I don't eat right away, or if I just eat something sweet, like a banana, let's say, but I don't eat anything salty afterwards. So sweet tastes definitely make me a little bit nauseous. So I usually eat some cheese or some bread and that takes away my nausea completely. But it's very mild. It doesn't bother me at all. And in general, talking about things that I like, things that I really want to eat, or pregnancy cravings, I've been all about salty and hearty things like eggs, mature cheese, Spanish chorizo, bread, and sweetened yogurt has been another craving of mine. So things like that. I'm still not attracted by anything sweet. I do eat my fruit, but I don't crave it as much as usual, and I definitely don't even want to think of any kind of sweeteners like honey or coconut sugar. I really love apples at the moment as well. I generally don't like apples much, but for the last maybe couple of months, it's been my favorite fruit, so I'll just go with it. Now, talking about food aversions, I had quite a few in the first trimester, in the beginning of the second trimester, but since then they have pretty much gone away. Now I can eat and drink everything. The only thing that remains is chocolate. I don't have aversion to it. I actually like the taste now, but I'm super sensitive to it and it makes me really anxious. I can't sleep at night. Even if I eat it in the morning, the following night I won't be able to sleep. So I haven't been able to go back to eating chocolate at all. And I guess it's just not what my body needs, so I will listen to it. Weight gain, I lost around 3 kilos in the first trimester when I was so sick. Since then, I regained those 3 kilos and I put another 3.5 on top. So I'm around 3.5 kilos over my starting weight at the moment, which my midwife is very happy with. My real weight gain started only around week 20. Until then, I wasn't gaining anything and I was getting a little bit worried. I thought my midwife would tell me off, but by the time I had my appointment, I gained some and I think all is good in that department. I exercise 5-6 times a week at the moment. I pretty much have my normal exercise routine. I talked about that in the previous what I eat in a day video, but basically I just do something more intense, then yoga, more intense yoga, and then 1 or 2 days of complete rest, just walking every single day. And we also go for walks once or twice a day. Every walk is around 30 minutes. So I definitely try to keep as active as possible because I believe that labor is like a marathon and you have to train for it seriously. You can't just go in and expect to do well without any kind of training. So that's what I'm doing. And hopefully I'll be able to exercise right until the end. If not exercise, at least keep walking and keep myself active, because I believe that will definitely help me when it comes to labor and delivery and the recovery later. I'm really curious to know, when you were pregnant, if you have been pregnant, did you exercise right until the end? Did you exercise at all? And how did that affect your labor and delivery? Because I read of so many ladies who were active and then had really short and almost painless deliveries, while with other kids that were not active at all and they had completely different experiences with very slow labors. So I'm really curious how it went for you. Please let me know down in the comments. In a couple of days, my husband and I are traveling to Lithuania, my country, to visit my family and share my bump and all the moments and everything, all those special moments with my mom and sister and my friends. So I'm really excited about that. And now I guess it's time to show you my little bump that has finally made a proper appearance, and I love it so much. So this is my baby bump at 24 weeks. And as you can see, there's quite a difference from 6 weeks ago when I showed it to you last time. And I'm wearing this super comfy dress, which is not maternity, but it's going to work really well right until the end because it's stretchy and it's so comfy. I'm actually tempted to wear it at home, but it's too nice to wear at home. From the front you can see a bit now as well. I just love the way it's starting to look. If you're pregnant as well, please let me know in the comments how it's going for you, how many weeks you are, what kind of fears you're having, or I don't know, anything special you want to share with me. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video.